Hello, lovely spirit groups. This is our opener where we are going to start our exploration of the commitment of having enough of everything. So let's set the stage. This exercise is designed to help us all, recognize the abundance that we already have in our lives. What we see, we bring about. What we think about, we bring about. Where attention goes, energy flows. So what I'd like everyone to do is take a moment right now and reflect on one area of your life where you feel you have enough or even more than enough. So take a moment now. Just go inside and reflect on an area where you feel you have enough or more than enough. And this could be related to work, relationships, personal growth, energy, health, finances, any area of your life. Where do you have enough or more than enough? Once you've kind of settled in on that, I'm going to invite you all to share your reflections with the group. You can do it in small groups, in the large group, whatever your facilitator is inspired to do. And as you share your reflections of where you have enough or more than enough in your life, be specific about where you have enough and how it contributes to your sense of abundance, how you see the world when you remind yourself of this quality, what changes or what stays the same when you focus on where you have enough or more than enough. And then after everyone's shared, have a little conversation about what it was like to focus on what you have rather than what you lack, and how might that influence your decision-making and overall well-being. Or optionally, if there's an area where you're feeling scarcity, can you brainstorm a way to reframe it with an abundance mindset? So hopefully this icebreaker will warm you up to the deepening of our understanding and practice of the having enough of everything commitment. Enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 3, or week 4 if you include week 0, where we are going to be exploring the conscious commitment number 12, having enough of everything. Oh my God, everything. So the above the line behavior is I commit to experiencing that I have enough of everything, including time, money, love, energy, space, resources, etc. Fill in the blank. You've got it. That's the above the line. The below the line commitment is I commit to a scarcity mentality of choosing to see that there is not enough for me and others in the world, and therefore I have to be conscious of making sure I get and preserve what is mine. Okay. So let's take some time and explore this commitment. Now, the authors of our wonderful book, The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership, which is really a guide on how to be spiritually oriented leaders, they say that this is the most challenging commitment that the people they coach encounter. And our beliefs about scarcity of time, energy, money, health are pervasive. They're almost part of culture. They're not even challenged, and they just seem to be true. So it's almost about changing our relationship to the water in which we swim. So we need some altitude to really see what's going on. And really underneath it, we're looking at the mentality that just simply doesn't support the the experience of enough, whatever the topic is. However, there are some common themes. There are some common topics. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't get enough from my relationship. Or I don't give enough to my relationship because I don't have enough energy to give to everyone who wants attention from me, and I don't have enough breath to continue. There's also in this book a new term for me, which is called momentary scarcity. This was interesting. This is when, for example, it's raining and I was planning on going out for a walk, and I unconsciously interpret this in my disappointment as a scarcity of sunlight and a scarcity of dryness. So another thing to be mindful of. I thought that was a good one. Lynn Twist describes in her wonderful book, The Soul of Money, quote, "The mantra of not enough carries the day and becomes a kind of default setting in our thinking about everything and grows into the great justification of an unfulfilled life." Ouch. It's a big one. She goes on. It becomes the reason, scarcity, becomes the reason we can't have what we want, the reason we can't be who we want to be. It becomes the reason we can't accomplish the goals we set for ourselves, the reason our dreams can't come true, or the reason other people disappoint us, the reason we compromise our integrity, give up on ourselves, and write off others. So I can see this in myself. I can see this in our spiritual community, that when we're acting below the line, we might believe there aren't enough people interested in our unity teachings, or we can't do enough outreach to properly reach them, or we need something more than what we have in order to thrive with more dynamism. So lots of places to apply these teachings. The authors encourage us first to look at our own life experiences and discover where each of us are living from the belief that we don't have enough. So take a moment now and identify a place for you. Where do you believe in your own life you don't have enough? And see if they might carry these 3 myths of scarcity. These are 3 myths of scarcity that Lynn Twist identified. The first is that there is never enough. That mentality generates a fear that drives us to make sure we're not the ones left out. Separation. The second myth is that more is better. And the primary cost of this belief is that it never allows us to arrive, to be satisfied, to appreciate, because we're always pursuing something more. The final myth is that that's just the way it is. It's hopeless, helpless, unequal, unfair. That's the way the world is, and we can't change it or escape it. And as Twist argues, this is one of the most challenging myths because then we're less willing to question our beliefs around scarcity in the first place. So let's look at these myths. The "there is never enough" myth invites comparison, either with another person. For example, your neighbor has more money and energy than you, or comparison with an abstract ideal, like you thought you could retire at 60, but now you're 60 and you feel unsafe retiring with your current assets. It invites comparison and competition. The "more is better" myth extends from money to time to resources to energy. It's better to have more resources, a bigger house, a healthy family, and then we never arrive. Now, whenever people feel that that's the way this is and there's nothing we can do about it when it comes to not enough, what immediately follows is again a strong competition and the need to make sure we don't end up on the short end of the stick. However, many of us can be viewed as living with much more than we need. I had a teacher once say to a room full of people he didn't know, "Every single one of you is more than adequately provided for." And he was probably right. And this is especially when we look at scale, when we put our income on a global calculator and really see how blessed and abundant we really are. Or asking one of the billion women living on $2 to $5 a day whether our bonus is enough to compensate for the business we brought to the firm. And the authors say when we look in these terms, our complaints about enough and scarcity can even sound a bit silly. However, rather than getting bogged down in comparisons, which is a side effect of scarcity mentality itself, it's more useful to conduct our own self-inquiry. And we're focusing on the 15 commitments of conscious leadership because we are all leaders here at Unity of Tustin. So to live above the line, we must embody the consciousness of I commit to living from the belief that I have enough of everything, including time, money, love, energy, space, resources, and etc. Taking on a global perspective, we can acknowledge that there actually is enough for all of us. There is enough food in the world for no one to go hungry. Sufficiency is not comparative or competitive at all. Instead, sufficiency is collaborative, an experience and a context we generate, a declaration knowing that there is enough. It's a knowing that there is enough. And this is in alignment with our Unity teachings. We pray from the consciousness of enoughness. And it's from this lens we see the abundance and the wholeness that is already always present. And it's also helpful to note that our sense of enoughness is subjective. We might say we don't have enough time, but 5 minutes holding a heavy brick will be experienced much longer than 5 minutes meditating in a peaceful state. The authors say that many people, when they reflect, appreciate the sense of freedom and joy that they had at times of their life where they made less money than they might when they feel they have all the burdens of the current income that might be higher. So consider these 3 truths of sufficiency. One is that money is like water. Regardless of the flow, you direct where it goes. 2, in order to cultivate this mindset of sufficiency, what you appreciate appreciates. It increases in value. And 3, collaboration increases prosperity. It's collaboration, shared leadership, walking shoulder to shoulder, moving from competition to collaboration is how we get to the world where there is enough for all. And on this truth, we can say here at Unity of Tustin, we are all leaders collaborating to create a vibrant, dynamic, prosperous, beloved community. So how do we align with these truths? How do we remember them and live them and embody them? Our book encourages us to bring our attention to the present moment and to our physical body. So right now, do that. Take a moment and center. Feel into the present moment and your physical body. And exactly as Reverend Craig teaches, ask yourself in this moment, is there really anything lacking? Is there really anything lacking? And when we are fully present in this now moment, we find we have plenty of everything. So in a nutshell, for individuals like us committed to conscious spiritual leadership, the belief and experience of sufficiency creates a profound shift in our relationship with others and with life. As conscious spiritual leaders, we shift to living from a place of enough, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. So, let me see. We do not have a video for this commitment, but we do have an activity. So let's take a moment and get ready for this activity. Deep breath. So let's take this opportunity to explore moving from scarcity to abundance in depth. You have 2 worksheets. The first one is the scarcity inventory that I'd like you to fill out, and then the worksheet on consciousness and money. And this is a great way to examine how scarcity and abundance mentality operates or doesn't operate in your own life. So please take about 20 minutes to thoughtfully complete both handouts, and then share in your group any ahas, new insights, humbling realizations, or important takeaways that will help you live and center your gravity in a mindset of abundance and enoughness. See you in a couple of weeks.